Hey everyone, my name is Wedge and welcome back to our Best of the Rest series. In this video we'll be looking at the rest of the blue cards from Fate Reforged that weren't spoiled individually. Let's get down to business. We'll start with Aan Surveyor, 3 colorless and 2 blue for a 2/2 bird scout with flying. When it enters the battlefield, choose 1. Either put a +1/+1 counter on it or return target creature to its owner's hand. Woo! Anything that bounces a creature in limited is a friend of mine. Getting a 2/2 flyer is pretty sweet too, but make no mistake, this thing costs a lot of mana because of that return ability. In a lot of games, that will function very similarly to a Time Walk. They cast something huge, you play the bird, get a free 2/2 and bounce their creature. They spend the next turn just redoing what they just did the turn before that, but this time you have a 2/2 flyer. I'll definitely be playing this card in draft. Don't need to return anything? A 3/3 flyer is respectable and isn't going to get blocked by much, so you always have that to fall back on just in case. Cloudform is 1 colorless and 2 blue for an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, it becomes an aura with enchant creature. Manifest the top card of your library and attach Cloudform to it. Enchanted creature has flying and hexproof. Cloudform is so good. One of the best uncommons in the set, easily. You're spending 3 mana for a 2/2 with flying and hexproof. In what world is that not amazing? An interesting thing about this card is that if you end up having a creature as your manifested card, you can eventually turn it face up, and that creature will still have the enchantment on it. Now instead of a random 2/2, you have an actual card for your deck, but with the addition of flying and hexproof. Can't really go wrong with this card unless you manifest one of your bombs. If you do that, tough break, but again, 2/2 with flying and hexproof, #worth. This next card is pretty good for being a common. Enhanced Awareness is 5 mana for an instant. Draw 3 cards, then discard a card. Now, this isn't Jace's Ingenuity, but it is a bit more flexible with its cost and retains instant speed. You do have to discard a card, but in this current standard meta where Delve is a thing, that might not be so bad, especially in Limited. I'm not saying that this will suddenly see standard play, but as far as common cantrips go, this one draws you cards pretty well with very little downside. It's a big fan. Fascination is X and 2 blue for a sorcery. Choose 1. Each player draws X cards, or each player puts the top X cards of their library into their graveyard. There are a few places this card can fit. First, in Commander. Nekasar loves this straight to the graveyard. In Standard, it obviously synergizes with Delve, but the downside of it being a sorcery is pretty rough. If you do decide to draw cards, chances are your opponent will be able to enjoy the benefits before you, since you had to use your mana to cast the thing. I don't dislike the card, it's just a bit awkward. Of course, for all of you Fate Unraveler players in Standard, this is your time to shine. Hags for life. Justsky Runemark is 3 mana for an enchant creature aura. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2. It also gets flying as long as you control a red or white permanent. Now this is the Runemark that I want. 3 mana for a +2/+2 buff and flying? Absolutely. While the color requirement does kind of force you into at least one of the other colors, we're talking about the clans. Chances are, if you're playing blue, it's either Justsky or Sultai. If you get this card, let's hope it's Justsky, because the card's power level is much higher than you might think as long as the creature gains flying. Lotus Path Jinn is 4 mana for a 2/3 Jinn monk with flying and prowess. This is really uncharacteristic for a common level card. The power and toughness are fine by themselves for a 4 mana flyer, but adding prowess throws it over the top. The Justsky are looking better and better every day. With just 1 non-creature spell, this becomes a dangerous 3/4 instead of an annoying 2/3. The Jinn is incredibly strong, and you should consider playing it if you open it during pre-release or see one in a draft. I don't think it'll take players long to realize that this card is much better than its rarity would lead you to believe. Mistfire Adept is 4 mana for a 3/3 human monk with prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, target creature gains flying until end of turn. Well, isn't this just the most interesting card ever? Granting flying has always been nice to have, but putting it on a stick is just plain good. Not only that, but the creature isn't half bad by itself. The Adept is a strong 3/3 with prowess of its own. There is talk about whether or not this is better than the Lotus Path Jinn we just talked about. I think neither is better nor worse. They perform different functions. Both are great and should be valued relatively highly when you draft. If it were me, I wouldn't want to face either one, so pick them before someone else does. Refocus is 2 mana for an instant. Untap target creature, draw a card. This seems familiar. Right, Pressure Point. Wasn't that funny? Just like Pressure Point, I'd love to play this just to draw a card, but I might as well just play a card that I would use, know what I mean? The flavor is funny and the art is funny, I just don't know when I'd ever really want to use this. You could make a case for Justsky Ascendancy, but honestly, what would they take out of the deck to fit in Refocus? Think about it. Yeah, I don't know either. Rite of Undoing is 5 mana for an instant with Delve. Return target non-land permanent you control and target non-land permanent you don't control to their owner's hand. Huge flashback to Aether Trade Winds for me. While this is more expensive, Delve will change that real quick. This is going to see play in Limited for a couple of reasons. First, returning your opponent's creatures to their hand is always valuable. Second, this is a great way to get your manifested cards back to your hand in case you turn one of your best non-creature spells into a 2/2. The Rite has a lot of versatility and power. It's great for limited play. Shifting Loyalties is 6 mana for a sorcery. Exchange control of 2 target permanents that share a card type. Shifting Loyalties is really funny for no other reason than you can exchange 2 creatures you don't control. In a 4-person commander game, you can just switch the planeswalkers your friends have. Now that's hilarious. One has a Liliana Vest, the other has a Karn. Do switcheroo. Someone has Illusions of Grandeur, the other one has Necropotent. Switch time, woo yeah! Listen, just be the biggest troll possible with this card. Please, make your friends angry. It's why it was printed, obviously. Whisk Away is 3 mana for an instant. Put target attacking or blocking creature on top of its owner's library. More tempo ruining cards are always good. This one in particular is really funny. Getting to ruin your opponent's good time with a 3 mana instant is fine by me. You force them to draw their creature next turn instead of a new card, and they're forced to replay it or go without. You gain a lot of time from that and a ton of value in the process, especially if you return something with a mana cost higher than the Whisk Away itself. You spend only 3 mana. That's it. Just 3 mana to ruin their draw for the next turn, take up a ton of their mana, and set their big creature back a turn. Yeah, don't underestimate cards like these. They are way better than you think for limited play. The last card of the day is Will of the Naga. 4 colorless and 2 blue for an instant with Delve. Tap up to 2 target creatures. They don't untap during their controller's next untap step. This is another great example of a card that messes with your opponent's tempo and game plan. While the initial cost on this is pretty steep, we all know how cheap Delve makes things. This could easily be a Frost Breath or even cheaper. In Constructed, there are some thoughts on whether or not this could be good, but I think that might be going a little too far. The will isn't bad by any means, the cost just seems a little too high for what it does, even with Delve. After we did the last video, I was sure that white had the strongest playable commons, but blue really stepped up its game. We have some insane flyers and awesome instants. This might be the color for limited play. What do you all think? Any blue cards that rubbed you the right way or the wrong way? Either is fine. We'll continue this series next time with the rest of the black cards, so get hyped! As always, subscribe below for the latest and most reliable Fate Reforged spoiler information you could ever need. This is the Manosaurus, I'm Wedge, thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.